Restaurant Unstoppable. Inspire, empower, and transform the industry. You know, we kind of skipped the question, just got straight to it.
Right.
And your answer to that is unbundling and making these companies be able to work together. Or opening up the API.
That's one of the things. Yeah, I would say, the lack of integration across the stack is a tough one. I think.
So why do these companies make it tough to integrate?
Let me frame it this way.
Are they trying to monopolize? Like, what's going on?
Maybe. If this is something that I feel like is unique to restaurant tech, where people love to build walled gardens. And that's true up and down the stack.
Yeah.
I don't understand, like over the last 10 years, I've seen a lot of other companies just open up their APIs and have this platform approach.
It's fear, man. This whole conversation started around fear.
Yeah. Maybe.
This whole conversation started on fear.
Maybe.
My mission statement is to inspire, empower, and transform the industry.
Yeah.
And when I say transform the industry, it's like what it needs to change about our industry. One of the things I'm trying to transform about the industry is breaking down walls.
Right.
We can go much further together than we could ever go alone.
Right.
And I think for the longest time, restaurateurs have been putting up walls because they were afraid of the competition down the street.
Yeah.
And what I've learned is actually the most successful restaurateurs that break those walls down and collaborate and work with the other
I think we've seen that during COVID, actually, which has been great. Like my mother-in-law is in a WhatsApp group with all the operators on her block.
Yeah.
And they've been talking about literally how are we going to get more business to our block?
Yes. And that's
right?
the
and
idea.
That, instead of how am I going to get more business to Amma? How am I going to get more business to Sukhumvit? How am I going to get more business to Banchan Chicken? How am I going to get more business to Cornerstone? These are 4 different businesses, different use cases, different customer profile. And the question is during this time, how are we just going to the rising tide lifts all boats, right? It's so how are we going to get more business to this block so that all of us have a shot at essentially growing our own business.
So this transformation that's happened within the restaurant industry between restaurants is, you can see it happening. Yeah. I've seen it happening in my time doing this podcast. What has to happen for the services that serve our industry to hop on board to this mentality of breaking down walls?
It's a good question. I mean, look, I can only speak to it at a high level because I'm sure everybody has their own reasons for why they integrate, why they don't integrate, why they build things in a certain way. But
sorry, keep going.
No, I was going to say, from a technology standpoint, it comes down to the openness because I think
what
there's.
What do you mean by openness? API?
Yeah, API integration. API is basically a simple way to think about it is
language.
No, it's like a pipe.
Okay.
Where you can send and request data essentially to make data is part of it.
Maybe?
But I mean, so we have an API integration with a POS system. The API integration is whenever an order happens, they openly send that order to Bicky so that Bicky can do what it needs to do and structure that data in a way to make it actionable for the restaurant.
Got it.
And so API integration is another way to think about it. I think more general, it's just openness and collaboration to work together. I think we, as restaurant technologists, we can sometimes take on the mentality of our customers, and our customers, and like we were saying, the last 2 years have been an exception, but our customers have been very competitive, right? It's people view food as a zero-sum game. You're either going to have they're either going to get your restaurant for lunch or somebody else's restaurant for lunch. And that mentality can translate over to restaurant technologists who think that, again, either you're going to do the marketing or I'm going to do the marketing. And it's no, there's enough. The tools are so legacy in this space and have been for so long that, and the model of a restaurant is so cross-functional and integrated and dynamic that mentality of what makes a restaurant successful and working successfully, what makes a restaurant work successfully needs to carry over to what makes a restaurant technology stack work successfully.
So it was actually Steve from Bbot that kind of first put this on my radar when I interviewed him. And he said, when I asked him that question, what needs to transform about the industry, he said, we need to open up API.
Yeah.
We need to open up API. And I know that that's what Bbot was set out to do. That was part of their mission, is to open this stuff up, to make it public, to share the information, to to be designed to work well with others. When I heard that DoorDash acquired Bebot, I was like, oh man, I hope that doesn't change, because like that needs to be a part of the solution. And I have this vision for the future of our industry where we get out of the kitchens and we get out of the front of house, and that this industry becomes, I think we need to take our industry back, because our industry has become so much more than serving food.
Yep.
There's all these things that hinge on our business, our industry, and we are not the benefactors of those things.
Right.
And I think what's going to end up happening is, as the world evolves, as more and more people become tech savvy, you're going to have servers, you're going to have cooks who develop these skills. And because they're in it every day, they're going to be like, I could create something that is a solution to my problem.
Yep.
And as more and more people learn that language of coding and developing, which I think is just going to be like, they're going to teach it to elementary school kids. You know, it's going to be a language like Spanish that we learn in high school.
Yeah.
You're going to see more and more of the industry coming back to us, because we're closest to it. And that's going to spring opportunity within our industry. And I think we just need to think bigger.
Right.
And I think that's part of the solution, is realizing that, like, listen, like, we got to stop being acted on. And this is no disrespect to you. But like, we got to take our industry back and realize that we're more than serving food.
For sure.
You know?
I know. I mean, and hospitality is the business of cultivating experiences.
Yeah.
That's it's just how those experiences happen is changing. It can be at home on your couch. It could be in store. It could be through an experiential event or something like that. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, and I say this to all of our customers, and they're like, oh, what's your philosophy on technology? How should we buy technology? I'm afraid of introducing technology. Technology is just a tool. Go back to what I said. Technology, my vision of technology is just helping figure out a way to help scale hospitality in the way my mother-in-law does it.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
And so everything, when it comes down to using technology for the restaurant industry, it's not about like, like, what's the ROI on getting this POS? It's like, how does this POS help you execute better in serving your guests? Because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I've really loved this conversation, man. We are 1 minute to our agreed upon time. We're really kind of close. But I mean, is there anything that we did not discuss that you were hoping to discuss?
We covered a lot.
I mean, usually I ask my guests, like, the mission statement is to inspire, empower, and transform. What do you think needs to transform about the industry? I kind of forced you into that conversation.
That's good. Yeah.
That's what we're here to talk about. But is there something else that comes to mind? Like, I want to give you a chance to kind of freestyle here.
We can take it back to the top, and it's easier said than done, and I forget it myself sometimes, but I hope operators don't operate from a position of fear and view the current moment in time as an opportunity to change their business.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There's a series of books out there that I'm a fan of that kind of is an advocate for this mindset of don't look at technology as a threat, looking at as an opportunity. Of course, whenever I say I'm going to mention a book, I wish I was better with the details. There's a series of books. It's 3 books. The first book is Abundance, and the second book is Bold, and the third book is The Future is Faster Than You Think. And it's Peter Diamandis who's the author. It's actually co-authored. I can't think of the other guy's name, though. Stephen Kotler. And the whole idea behind these books is we need to look at technology as a way to free up human bandwidth to do so. Think about how many people's jobs they're restricted to, like sweeping or flipping burgers. If we can free up that human potential, that human bandwidth to solve problems, we're going to create more opportunity for the world. And the world is going to be a much better place. It's kind of the thought. It's a great series of books. I would love to get Peter on the show, but he's kind of a celebrity. He's like he's like SpaceX status. And he's Elon Musk's status. So maybe as the show grows, maybe we can get him on the show. But
why not?
Yeah, I mean, I do think that there's something to be said about just this idea of like fear. Don't fear the future, embrace the future, and recognize that if we do, it could open up a much better life for all of us.
Yeah, and it's meant to be hard. I think none of this, there are no shortcuts. None of this is easy. It's meant to be hard, and it's meant to be scary. And I don't know, at some point, somebody once told me, this is the last thing I'll say. Somebody once told me that this is when my wife was pregnant with our first child, and one of my mentors told me that having a child is the ultimate sign to the universe that you're willing to bring something into the world that you will have no control over.
Right.
And ever since then, I've been like, I think about that maybe once a week as I go through like talking with my now 5-year-old and 3-year-old. And I think about that in the course of what we do in our business.
Yeah.
Is there are so many things that I will not have control over. And you just got to put one foot in front of the other and try to make the best decisions you can with imperfect information and, see where it shakes out along the way.
I love it. Great way to end this thing.